All right, here's a very big Trent Williams update for you. This was just posted. I say it's very big because Trent Williams, yeah, that's 320 pounds of left tackle working out. But this is the first workout video that we've gotten of Trent Williams this offseason. And this is a massive win for fact when we talk about covering the 49ers. There have been some truly garbage. I can't just say rumors because it's been reporting. It's been truly garbage reporting over the course of this offseason that Trent Williams was planning to retire. Guess what? That was never the case. That never should have been rumored or reported. Every single fact flew into the face of that rumor. And there you have it. Trent Williams working out, and we're going to see him in a 49ers uniform this next season. The other thing that I have to say is that he looks fully healthy doing these lunges, split squats, whatever you want to call them, on top of an unbalanced surface. Let's just put it that way. That's not easy to do. Those of you who have worked with that half medicine ball at the gym know that that's not easy. And Trent Williams, I mean, freak of nature, 320 pounds. The ankle that was bothering him over the course of the 2024 season that eventually shut him down for that season, I think that he is now fully healthy if he's putting all that body weight on just one leg and just one ankle. So Trent Williams is healthy. Trent Williams seems locked in. He's going to be ready to go. He's been at the 49ers facility. That wasn't taken at the 49ers facility. That was probably taken at some point over the past several days. But he has been at the 49ers facility this offseason. We can discard all of the idiotic rumors that we've heard over the course of the past several months. And one of the 49ers' most valuable players, we can check the box next to his name. He's going to be part of this for San Francisco. He literally said last year, after he signed his contract extension, another record with the 49ers, that he wanted to play until he was 40. The guy's my age. He's 37. I'm swimming to Alcatraz tomorrow without a wetsuit. Hopefully I survive. But I know, it's possible to do hard things when you're 37. Trent Williams is doing a lot harder stuff than that. He's playing in the NFL at a high level, and he wants to continue to prove it all the way up to at least age 40. Last year was tough for everybody, but it doesn't immediately mean that we should knee-jerk right into, oh, he's going to retire because he hurt his ankle at age 36 in the NFL during a tough 49ers season. He actually gave it a go when that season was still realistically alive when it came to playoff contention for the 49ers. He gave that a firm go. That was the game against Seattle. But the 49ers, unfortunately, lost that game against Seattle. That was the one where Nick Bosa got hurt. And then the next week, Trent Williams didn't play against the Green Bay Packers. Personal tragedy also hit at around that time. So you can put two and two together. He fights through the ankle injury, shows that he's not there just for the money. He's there to fight, but unfortunately, he's hurt. Personal tragedy back at home for Trent Williams. 49ers falling out of contention. Yeah, the rest of the year, he didn't return. It didn't mean that he was planning to retire and not come back for 2025. Anyway, tonight's a big night because 49ers OTAs officially, for the sake of public content, open tomorrow. 49ers are going to practice at around 12:30. I think the practice field is going to be ready in its new format. They're rotating the fields 90 degrees. So they're going to have two 100-yard fields side by side for the first time at the Santa Clara facility, which has been around since the late 1980s. They used to practice on 80-yard fields, and that made it hard to do joint practices. They're going to have one of those in Santa Clara against the Denver Broncos this year. That might actually be on Dwight Clark Day. I think I've done the math because they're playing the Broncos on August 9th. So 2 days before, they're probably going to host Denver in this practice setup. But we're going to get to see the 49ers in 11-on-11 action, although it will be light. But we're going to get to see them in 11-on-11 action tomorrow for OTAs. So this could be an OTA preview, and it's also going to be a look at why the 49ers are not done making moves in OTAs. Today was a busy day, and this is up on the screen right now, and it's up on the San Francisco Standard as we speak. I put the link into the description why the 49ers aren't done making moves, including replacing their punter. Yes, Mitch Wishnowsky is now officially gone. And that is because he was hurt and he wasn't able to deliver at the level that the 49ers needed him to, neither via efficiency or reliability. Missed half of the season with a back issue, and we know how tricky back issues can be. So Wishnowsky drafted by this team in 2019, and now it's not like they cut him while he was still on his rookie contract. He earned an extension with the 49ers. So they did get productive punting out of Mitch Wishnowsky over the years. But he also came into the league as an older player because he was coming over from Australia. He played his college football at Utah. And it's not like, Mitch Wishnowsky comes into the league in 2019. A lot of guys are 21, 22 years old. So you fast forward 6 years, they'd still be in their upper 20s. Mitch Wishnowsky is already 33 years old. And obviously he's crossed that threshold from the 20s to the 30s where statistically you do see more injury issues. So he's 33 years old with the amount of service time of about a 28 or 29-year-old that you typically see in the NFL. Anyway, the 49ers saw him really struggle up until he was put on IR with that back issue last year, down to 36.2 net yards per punt attempt, which is a really good way to measure efficiency because it's not just distance, it's also how the punter is placing the ball and setting up his coverage. You're going to factor in the return yardage in that situation. Mitch had typically been over 40, and the baseline parameter to measure an NFL punter is net yards per punt attempt and over or under 40. If it's under 40, it's probably not going to be good enough to retain a job. And unfortunately, at 36.2 last year, that was a big, big red flag, big danger zone for Mitch Wishnowsky. Ultimately, couldn't continue punting. They put him on IR with the back issues. Those were tricky to handle. And they brought in Pat O'Donnell, who also was south of 40 yards per net punt attempt. And they decided that they had to get much better and much more consistent at the punting position this offseason. The special teams, after all, finished ranked dead last, number 32 in 2024. So what they did is they went and got Thomas Morstead, who Brant Boyer, the 49ers new special teams coordinator, is very familiar with. And Morstead, he's a 16-year NFL vet. He's 39, but he's proven to be healthier over the course of his time, even though he's 6 years older than Mitch Wishnowsky. And the 49ers can knock on wood. You never want players to get hurt. You want to make sure that Thomas Morstead remains healthy moving forward. But he has, in his 16 years, 14 straight at this point, he's averaged over 40 net yards per punt attempt. So it was his first 2 years where he was under 40. It was like 38 or 39. The last 14 years, Morstead's been over 40. Even if he may not have the same type of strong leg that he did in his prime, he doesn't handle kickoffs anymore. He handled kickoffs up until about 10 years ago. He was one of the best kickoff guys in the league. I don't think he's going to be doing it with the 49ers, although there might be a little bit of an asterisk here because it used to be that you just tried to boom the ball as far as you could out of the end zone back with the old rules, right? And he actually led the NFL, Morstead, I think it was in 2012. This was probably still in the New Orleans Saints days where he started his career. He led the NFL in touchbacks for the whole season. I think he set the record, actually, in one season because Drew Brees was the quarterback and the Saints were kicking off plenty after scoring touchdowns. But he also had the NFL record for touchbacks in a single game with 9. That record may never be broken, because now the rules have changed to where you're not just powering out of the end zone every time. They're moving the ball 5 yards further on touchbacks, and that's the league's attempt to disincentivize just kicking it through the end zone for touchbacks. So you're not going to be trying for those, and you're going to be taking a little bit of leg out of these kickoffs. And because of that, if it's not a 110% thing on every single kickoff, maybe the 49ers do use Morstead, even at age 39, for some of the kickoffs. If it's lighter work, if it's more finesse work, you're just, you're not taking out the driver on the par 5 anymore. The golf shot here is much, much closer to the green, and you're just trying to land it on the green now. So it's a different type of challenge, and we'll see how Brant Boyer is thinking about this. But rest assured, he knows what he has in Thomas Morstead. He knows that he has a punter who has consistently averaged over 40 net yards per attempt, and he is improving the coverage unit too. The 49ers made another move today. They added Chaz Surratt, a linebacker who led the Jets in special teams tackles last year, who I played 137 quality snaps at linebacker as well. Robert Saleh believes in him. I wrote up on the San Francisco Standard. We even have the quote. There's a Hard Knocks line. By the way, there's Morstead out at the 49ers building. There's Morstead in a Jets uniform. Morstead, I've got a cool picture I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit. He's actually already worn a 49ers jersey to a game. Some of you might know whose jersey it was, but this is fun trivia. Whose jersey did Thomas Morstead wear to an actual New York Jets game? He was under contract with the Jets, but he wore a 49ers jersey. So we'll take a look at that in a second. But this is Salah's quote on Surratt. That's my guy. That guy's so good. He's so good. He's so good. He said that 3 times. This comes from the Hard Knocks in 2023, the HBO Hard Knocks production of 2023 during the preseason. Surratt might challenge for the starting linebacker job outside of Fred Warner. He is 28 years old. Obviously, Nick Martin is the rookie sensation that everybody's going to be talking about over the course of OTAs and training camp. D. Winters is trying to prove that he's more durable in the third-year jump coming up. Dre Greenlaw's in Denver now. He'll be back on August 7th for the joint practice in Santa Clara. But you're trying to make sure that you're bolstering that linebacker room. And to do that, if you're the 49ers, it might be necessary to have a veteran bridge. And this is a veteran bridge that Robert Saleh really, really loves. It doesn't look like we have a picture of him, but we see Chaz Surratt's relative athletic score here. Can you guys see that? Doesn't need to be a little bit bigger. Maybe I could put it up on the screen. Just give me a second. We'll get this one expanded up on the screen so that you can see the relative athletic score in all of its glory. This is a comparison to Fred Warner. 6'2". So, he's not as tall as Warner, but Warner is exceptionally tall at 6'3", 230 pounds. Warner is also a little on the lighter. I mean, this is comparisons against linebackers drafted in respective years. They've downsized since then, so I think that Warner would actually probably score in the green nowadays at 236. But look at Surratt. He's strong. 25 bench press reps. Nick Martin, 26 bench press reps. So the 49ers have gone after strong linebackers, after strong nickels. Upton Stout put up 21, most of any DB. He's fast, 4.59 40. Nothing to scoff out. Now, Warner's got better burst out of the gate, so better explosiveness for Warner, but just good speed. And I would assume with a good 20-yard split time, Surratt can run sideline to sideline. NFL fields are over 53 yards wide. So the 20-yard split, a good measurement of sideline to sideline speed. Doesn't have a great vertical and doesn't have very long arms. And I think that's been probably the physical limiting factor for Chaz Surratt. But a very quick short shuttle, very good 3-cone time. The change of direction is good. Robert Saleh, again, thinks that this guy's got starter potential. 2023, he was really hampered by an ankle injury that forced him to miss 3 games and probably was battling it for a little bit longer than that. The crazy thing about Chaz Surratt is that he was a starting quarterback in D1 college football for North Carolina, like literally a starting QB back in 2017. Jimmy Garoppolo, we joke around, he made a linebacker to quarterback transition. Jimmy was a linebacker back in his middle school days. I think even early on in high school, he might have played some linebacker and he switched over to the quarterback. That's crazy. But quarterback to linebacker, to me, is one of the wilder moves, especially if the guy's an established starting quarterback at the FBS Power 4, maybe Power 5 back then because the Pac-12 RIP existed. But, the guy moved from quarterback to linebacker. There's a big weight change that you've got to undergo. You got to change your body to do that. You have to be ready for way more contact at linebacker. It takes like swallowing a lot of pride to be able to do that. I don't think that's a move that a coach approaches you with, because nobody would dare come up to a quarterback and say, hey, you want to play linebacker? That's something that has to be player driven, and he's got to want to follow through with it. And he did. He's now an NFL linebacker. That's been he was a 3rd round pick, first of all, after the revelation at North Carolina, switching to linebacker. But he's done enough at this NFL level to be around the league for quite some time, right? So 2021 is when he first entered this league, and it's already 2025. The average NFL player's career is only about 2 or 3 years long. So Chaz Surratt is, with his special teams prowess, has found a way to continue getting jobs, and I'm sure that both Robert Saleh and Brant Boyer, the 49ers' two new coordinators, are really happy to have him. So the 49ers have continued making moves all the way up to the doorstep of OTAs, which was expected. Now they're all locked in with the competition that they need across the roster. As you can see, they've got the foundational pillars highlighted in yellow. Yes, Trent Williams is one of them. Yes, he's working out. No, he's not retiring. It's ridiculous that we even had to deal with that at this point or at any point of this offseason. And tomorrow we're going to see in 11-on-11 fashion how the rest of the roster. Green denotes rookies that have joined the team. Teal denotes veterans who have signed with the team this offseason. We're going to see how these players fit into the 49ers roster. Now, we could make a couple changes because I haven't had a chance to even delve into this yet, but we'll zoom in now. Mitch Wishnowsky no longer on the team. You could see I had an injury shading there for Mitch Wishnowsky. And we're going to move Thomas Morstead over to the first punter position. And Morstead was a free agent, so we're going to shade that here in teal. Now, I still think that Jake Moody is the favorite to win the kicking job over Greg Joseph. That's why we've got Moody over here. But there is a chance that it's 3 new guys at the kicking battery. John Weeks, the long snapper, Morstead, the holder, and Jake Moody might be out as the kicker if he loses the battle to Greg Joseph. So a lot of moves coming for the 49ers on special teams. Look up here. We're not going to see Malik Mustafa coming back from the knee injury. However, we're going to get to see a trio of new safeties, or Saran Neal probably. Trio of new safeties if you include Marcus Siegel. Saran Neal, probably more of a nickel back specialist. He's going to be out on the field tomorrow. He's one of the new special teams weapons whom the 49ers have added this offseason. We'll take a look at Jason Pinnock, Richie Grant. Those are both free agent signings. Trey Brown, new cornerback. 49ers picked him up originally from the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to be in the mix tomorrow. Of course, the rookies, Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel. A lot of people talking about Nick Martin. Well, I put Chaz Surratt right now into this 53-man depth chart. The 49ers did make a corresponding move. Deshaun White is no longer on the team. I didn't have him projected to make the roster. I will project Surratt to make the roster right now. And I think that he's got a better chance to make this roster probably than Jalen Graham. Graham or Tatum Bethune. Bethune is going to be fighting for a spot. He's going to be a second-year man. But for now, we can put Jalen Graham out over here. He was an exclusive rights free agent who had to sign his tenders, so we'll shade him in blue. We'll remove him from the 53-man projection, and we'll put Chaz Surratt in here. I think that Surratt and Gifford, who are both free agents added by the 49ers this offseason, I think both of these guys have a really good chance of making the team for special teams purposes. And I think that Tatum Bethune is going to have to fight to convince the 49ers to take that 6th linebacker this year. They could take 6, and Curtis Robinson's coming off the ACL, so that's going to be interesting. Guys, unfortunately, will probably get hurt over the course of training camp, just the reality of the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. D-line is where the 3 defensive linemen, C.J. West, Alfred Collins, and Michael Williams will be coming into play. Now, it's interesting because we're still waiting for Alfred Collins to sign his contract. All but 2 second-round picks have not signed their contracts yet. And it's because those 2, for the first time ever at the top of the round, got fully guaranteed deals. Now, the CBA says, the collective bargaining agreement says that only the first round is guaranteed a fully guaranteed deal. So I'm not sure why. I think it's the Texans and the Browns, first 2 picks of the second round, decided to give both of their guys fully guaranteed deals. And now the rest of the second round picks are like, wait, I want at least some of my deal fully guaranteed. And I think it's leading to a big holdup in negotiation. So I'm not sure if Alfred Collins is going to be on the field. I know during rookie minicamp, he hadn't signed the deal yet, but he was still dealing with a minor calf issue. So he was just standing there and watching. it's going to be interesting tomorrow to see if he's going to be out there on the practice field, even without a signed deal. Now, these guys can sign waivers to participate even without the contract being signed. So he doesn't necessarily have to have this contract finalized with some of this full and guaranteed money under more scrutiny now. But he doesn't necessarily have to have it finalized if he signs the waiver and gets out there. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens with CJ West and, of course, with Mykel Williams. Mykel has signed his contract for the 49ers. Another newcomer to that defensive line is going to be Sebastian Valdez. Then moving to the offensive line. Well, I know that some of you guys have been watching for Trent Williams right now. The update on Trent Williams is a good one. It's this right here. Trent is fully healthy, working. We'll see if we see him at the facility tomorrow. I do know that he's been around the facility this offseason. So the Trent Williams update, 2 thumbs up for the 49ers entering OTAs. So that's the offensive line right here. I could go back to Big Trent, but we could also go back to the actual depth chart. Williams is, of course, the foundational pillar there. We do expect Jake Brendel to be the odds-on favorite to start at the center position. He was actually golfing with Brock Purdy at the Olympic Club on the lake course when Brock Purdy got news that Kyle Strong and his agent had finalized his contract. But we'll see Pooney. We'll see Colton McKivitz, who's turned into a solid right tackle for the 49ers. He's entering a contract year. I think the only reason the 49ers won't extend Colton McKivitz this offseason is because he wouldn't sign an extension within the 49ers budget this offseason. This is a player that might command $20 million a year next year. Colton McKivitz, I will stand up for this right now. I'll stay sitting down, but, what do you call it? Like metaphorically, I'll stand up. Colton McKivitz is one of the more undervalued tackles in football. He got a lot better last year to the point where he was middle of the pack in terms of pass blocking. There's a lot worse at that position than Colton McKivitz, and he's making $6 million a year. You saw Jalen Moore go to the Kansas City Chiefs for $15 million a year, and he didn't even start over Colton McKivitz on the 49ers. So, people need to develop some perspective about where offensive line play is at in this league. 49ers actually ranked above average in terms of pass blocking last year. I have illustrated the problems with this offensive line for longer than anybody. I think they've got to get better on the interior. I think the best way to get better on the interior is to make sure Dominic Pooney continues developing. And I think they can make strides at left guard with Aaron Banks gone, because I thought that Banks did not have a great year and he still commanded $19 million per season. But Colton McKivitz at right tackle for the 49ers has actually presented good value for this football team. Now, of course, you need Trent to stay healthier this year than he did last year. You don't want to have to dig into the swing tackle depth, but for that, they've got Andre Dillard on this team. And we'll see if Connor Colby can make his initial move, the rookie out of Iowa, here during OTAs. Of course, there's not going to be anything concrete happening until training camp, but all worth watching. Connor Colby, rookie out of Iowa. We've done a big offseason piece on him already. Thought that was a lot of fun talking to LeVar Woods, the Iowa special teams coordinator now, but somebody who's used to be George Kittle's tight ends coach, knows the players in that program really well. Said that Connor Colby, man's man, really, really respected around that Iowa program. Continuing with the 49ers position by position preview, first look at Luke Farrell tomorrow on that practice field for San Francisco, new tight end. George Kittle is going to be in the building. It's going to be a battle to see if they take 3 or 4, right? Kittle and Farrell definitely make it in. Ross Dwelly is back with the 49ers. Mason Pline, do they really like him? Can he crack the 53-man roster? Again, these are all questions that we're going to have a lot of fun answering over the course of this offseason. Then you've got the receiver spot. We're not going to see Brandon Ayuk out on the practice field tomorrow, but we will see Demarcus Robinson. We should see Juwan Jennings. We should see Ricky Pearsall, Cowing, Watkins. Cowing is supposedly muscled up, according to George Kittle. I've talked about the potential of the 49ers signing somebody. They've already hosted Gabe Davis, but Amari Cooper, we have a whole video on it. Why is Amari Cooper an option? Well, because the 49ers might be looking for another veteran receiver. They do have the cap space to do something in the short term if they find it pressing, if they find the need to do that. I think they want to roll over most of the 45, $46 million of effective space they have to be able to handle these escalating costs. But the 49ers are in a good spot to have flexibility. For example, if they were right up against the cap, cutting Mitch Wishnowsky will be a little bit harder because teams that are right up against the cap, $2 million in dead money is a big deal, right? And for the 49ers, when you have $46 million, it's not really that big of a deal. They had already used their post-June 1st designations, which basically just push dead money into the future. They'd used them on Javon Hargrave and Malik Collins. So you only have 2 per year. They couldn't use one on Wishnowsky, so they have to shoulder the $2 million in dead money now. So they save only, I think, $166,000, maybe $266,000. Minimal savings. You don't get the full 1.2 or however much it would be million in savings with a post-June 1st release, but it doesn't really matter to the 49ers because they are now built as flexibly as possible, given the way that they've pushed all of these cap hits back. And that's also why somebody like Amari Cooper theoretically would be an option if the 49ers feel that they do need more veteran power in that receiving room. We'll also keep our eyes open for Gabe Davis as he heals from his meniscus injury. Then you've got the running back room. We're going to get to see McCaffrey back out there and healthy. Juszczyk re-signed to the 49ers. He's going to be there through year 10 for San Francisco. I'm sure that's good news for most of the fans watching. Those who don't think that's good news probably don't really know football, but that's okay. Isaac Guerendo, Jordan James, the rookie from Nashville, went to Margot's high school. Jordan James, he's going to be out there as well. And we're going to Corey Kiner. Don't forget about him. A very similar profile to Jordan James. Just a good runner. Not great physical metrics, but just a really good, productive runner in college. And of course, Mr. Purdy will be back out on that field alongside Mac Jones, Tanner Mordecai. Curtis Rourke is not going to be out on that field. He's recovering from the ACL tear. But Purdy and Mac Jones, maybe I'll get a video of those two guys for you as we set up the instant reaction and do all of that good stuff tomorrow. So that's your 49ers OTA preview on top of this big Trent Williams update. I'm going to hop into the comments section and we'll go from there. Can answer any questions here ahead of OTAs. If I can get my phone out here. It fell on the ground. All right, good. Got the phone. We're all good to go. Got to check to make sure everything from a flight perspective is A-okay on my end. It looks like it is. Good. And I'm ready to talk to you guys. So let's go. Could I please post a link to my roster spreadsheet? Yes, sir. Copy and paste. I'm going to post it in the comment section, okay? Because if it's in the comment section, I think you can actually click on it. Don Giovanni has the 49ers winning 14 games. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to win quite a few games this year, but I don't know how the injury situation will work out. And, last year, everything fell off the rails. I think everybody's prediction went kaput last year. So, maybe they do. Maybe they win 13. Maybe they win 12. I think they're going to go well over 500. Let's just put it that way in 2025. Members question, will the 49ers win the Super Bowl this year? Sure. Again, guys, so much of it is a crapshoot. I'm not going to pretend to let you know, to know more than I do. I don't see the future. All I can do is analyze strategy. And I'll analyze strategy. I will tell you that I'm doing an Alcatraz swim without a wetsuit in January or in February. And we're going to do a live stream of it if the 49ers win the Super Bowl. That promise still stands. I think O-line depth concerns me with any team in football, and it's long concerned me with the 49ers. My big thing has always been you're going to need 7 minimum, probably 8 truly competent bodies along the offensive front. And do the 49ers have that? Well, we'll find out. I mean, you look at your starting 5, I think they've got at least 4 truly competent bodies there. What does Andre Dillard have left? What does Connor Colby bring to the NFL level? Can Nick Zakelj develop as a as a run blocker? He was already good in pass blocking last year. And can Spencer Burford deliver serviceable football? And if, one of those or 2 of those things doesn't work out or 3 of those things doesn't work out, where's Drew Moss in there? Can he become a surprise like a Connor Colby coming out of undrafted free agency. Connor was a 7th-round pick. Can Matt Hennessy resurrect his career for the 49ers? They've got some other guys like Drake Nugent who are more dark horses. They've signed a couple more players, but I think those are the primary contenders, and they've got to use this offseason to show that they've got 7, 8, 9 quality offensive linemen. Maybe not starter level guys, but guys that can fill in because it is a marathon and not a sprint over the course of the season. Ian says playing the Seahawks first game should give some clues about the season ahead. It should give some, but never read too far into week one. Remember, we always see some crazy stuff week one that ends up not affecting the season at all. Remember when the Saints walked into Lambeau a couple years ago and just completely thrashed the Green Bay Packers by like 40 plus points? It wasn't really predictive of what happened over the course of the season. So I think, especially given the fact that OTAs are shorter than they used to be, they're not padded. Training camp is not as intense as it used to be. No 2-a-days. You don't get as much work as you did in the past. Because of that, I don't think that week one or the first 4 weeks are necessarily as predictive of the season as they used to be. So you'll get some clues for sure. But these seasons are these living, breathing entities that we really have to track from start to finish to get the full story. Hero says, wait until week 7. At that point, you'll have an idea. Hell, try to kill it on the swim tomorrow. Alcatraz swim coming up. First time, no wetsuit tomorrow. And I'm doing it in May. I'm doing it at the end of May. So I'm building up just in case I need to do it in February this next year, in case the 49ers win the Super Bowl. Yeah, the 49ers and the Seahawks play twice, once in week 1, the first week, and once in week 18, the very last week of the regular season. That's crazy to me. That those 2 games are going to be 4 months apart, about 120 days apart, and very, very different, like insanely different, both of those 2 games. So I'm really looking forward to covering what's in between week 1 and 18, because that's going to be an interesting measuring stick, right? Where do the Seahawks go? Where do the 49ers go after they meet up in week 1 up in the Pacific Northwest? Lombardi, go by. Oh, wait, I clicked on the wrong one. This one right here. Visit Station 33. Which one is Station 33? I'm looking it up. This is the fire department. Sorry, I don't know these off the top of my head. San Francisco Fire Department, Station 33, Capitol Avenue, down. Okay, it's down in the Ocean View. Cool. That's right by M Stop. Some of the best sandwiches in San Francisco. Okay. Good. I'll be there. I'm prepared. I went on a pretty nice long cold water swim today. I've been swimming out without a wetsuit. It's cold, but I think that my body's acclimated. My body fat percentage over the past 4 months has stayed the same, but I have added about 7 or 8 pounds of muscle. I'm at my heaviest that I've been so far. I'm at 6'5" and I'm at 211 now. And I think just because I got a little bit more heft to me, I will hopefully handle the cold a little bit better than I would have a few months ago. So you got to have a little insulation. You can't have too much, and it can't be just like flab, because then you're going to get tired and you're not going to swim as efficiently. So it's this balancing act, and I got to stay hydrated. That's the next thing I got to do. I got to drink some of my hydration stuff over here and make sure I eat some carbs and get ready to go for tomorrow morning. And then I got 49ers practice to cover. Just so worked out that the Niners moved their schedule around this year, and I'm swimming Alcatraz on the same day that I'm covering a practice. So Lombardi herself, said, I'm going to go to the Dolphin Club at New Year's. I'm going to dip into the water. And we have a pretty funny video. We just kept it, private, but she dipped into the water and she's like, okay, I'm getting out. Like, she knew that it wasn't going to last more than a few seconds. I ended up swimming around in the bay, but she was only in there for a grand total of about 3 seconds. And, in January, it's pretty damn cold in the bay. This is still in line right now. Oregon coaches about Jordan James. I am going through the rookies. I mean, we've talked to Iowa, obviously Western Kentucky. There's a couple more that have coming down the pipe. The Upton Stout story actually came out today. I know that I've had a lot of you watch the Upton Stout interview that I put up a couple weeks ago after I got home from Western Kentucky. The story itself, though, is really cool. It's up on the screen. Upton Stout. There you go. So go ahead and check it out. That is in the athletics, or the athletics, sorry. That's in the San Francisco Standard sports section, and the link is in the description. All right. Any more questions? Talking Trent Williams. We can get this off the screen and get Big Trent up on the screen. Here he is. First video of Trent Williams working out since the injury. I think that is a significant update for the 49ers. Also, there were just crazy, ridiculous retirement rumors. I have no idea where they even started, but this should put all of those rumors firmly to rest. Big Trent working out. I think that's good, guys. We got OTAs tomorrow. Should be fun. Everybody take care. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. It does help the channel out immensely. We will talk to you very soon.